Okay, what's going on guys, Senju-san here, and today I'm going to be doing a review for Accel World, a show that was also made by the creator of Sword Art Online and the upcoming Sword Art Online 2. And for this review, I'm not going to be doing it in an objective sort of way like I usually do my reviews. They are scripted for the most part. A few of them weren't, and they were really trying to be aimed at doing this thing like professional and everything, but this time I'm gonna try a different format to see if it works a lot better, since some people don't like that sort of thing, and I just want to try something different because I don't think that a lot of people either liked my reviews or just it didn't get enough views the way I was doing it. So I'm gonna go ahead and try for this review. Just give you my general thoughts on it's gonna be a review, but still I'm not gonna be like completely like I've been doing it in the past, if you guys have ever seen the rest of my reviews. So let me know if you guys like this format a little better. So with that said, I'm going to give you guys a brief synopsis on the story of Accel World, and I'm going to tell you guys some of the things I liked about the show, some of the things that I hated about the show. I marathoned the entire show within the last few days because I was bored, I couldn't sleep or whatever, and so I might have glossed over a few things because I just turned my brain off while I was watching it, but it was an okay experience. But anyway, for those of you guys who have never seen Accel World before, basically it's all about this guy named Haruyuki, or Haru for short. I'm going to be using their nicknames because their names are like long as I don't know what for the show. But Haru is basically this fat kid who gets bullied at school, and one day he gets the attention of the student council vice president. I think her name is pronounced Koriyuki Hime. It's a completely long name. Like I said, these names are long, so I'm just gonna call her Koriyuki for the entirety of this video. So, but anyway, she ends up giving him this this program called Brain Burst, and the show is set in like the distant future, like 2046 or something like that. And so basically she ends up giving Haru this program called Brain Burst, and during the first few episodes Haru learns about the world of Accel World, and he's challenged to these duels, and he's learning about the intricacies of the game and how the thing works and everything. And so basically this show, it reminds me a lot of Mega Man Battle Network for some reason, mainly because in this, I think like what I like about this show better than Accel World, than Sword Art Online, is because it's kind of a lot more original. Dot Hack did the whole thing. Dot Hack has been infamous for trapping people in video games. And I like in this one that actually, in this game, people aren't trapped or whatever. They can jack in or jack out, sort of like in Mega Man. Like I said, it's sort of a mix between Mega Man Battle Network, Dot Hack, and Sword Art Online, which actually succeeded this show. And there is actually a nod to Sword Art Online later in the show, where they show the nerve gear, which in the show actually came before the technology that they use in the show. So I think this show sort of ties into it, sort of, kinda. But anyway, so there's this big thing with the 6 Kings of Pure Color, and this show sort of has elements of K. If you guys have seen that anime before, it sort of has elements of K in it, where there's like these I wouldn't say gangs, but they're like legions, like clans, like clans in video games. People set up clans and everything. It's sort of like that. And so the girl Koriyuki, she ends up enlisting him in his legion, well, in her legion. And so the next few episodes is basically about Haru trying to get to level 10. Level 10 is the highest level in the game, and no one has gotten to this goal. And I think what sort of disappointed me is that even by the end of the show, that goal has not been reached by anyone. You know, without spoiling too much, because that's the biggest. I think that's the biggest. That's the biggest goal for all of the Burstlinkers, is what they call themselves, Burstlinkers, because of brain burst. Basically, they call themselves Burstlinkers, but I think that's like the most disappointing aspect of the show, because that is something that Haru has basically driven himself toward as soon as he made up his mind that he was going to protect the girl and everything and become stronger for her. But there are other characters in the show, and I kind of just can't really get into most of the characters in the show, with the exception of a few. Haru's friends, Taku and Chiyu, they're annoying to me, especially the girl. She just does really odd stuff. However, I gotta say, her character in the final act, I mean, she became useful and actually just smart, and I mean, her character was a lot better to me in the final act of the show. You know, she was no Sakura at the final moments. But and that's another thing, you know, and I apologize, I'm skipping around, but yeah, like, the latter half of the show is actually a lot better than the beginning of the show. It's like the opposite of Sword Art Online. Like, for some people, Sword Art Online, you know, that show fell apart very, very quickly. The first part of Sword Art Online was probably the best part. The part with the fairies and crap was kind of retarded. And that show, like, in that show, it's kind of infamous for these, like, Deus Ex Machina endings, especially when it came to Kirito fighting the final boss. And the thing about this show that makes it different, because these two shows actually sort of touch on two different things. Now, Sword Art Online is basically, if you guys want to hear my opinion on that, Sword Art Online was basically a show about really dealing with the fact that, you know, a lot of people play games and they take games way too seriously, for one thing. And I think that show sort of touches on that a little, but I think more so the Accel world actually is more about it's more about these characters dealing with the issues that they have in real life. Now, Brain Burst, when it's installed on a person, it can give you powers that allow you to accelerate and allow you to, basically, you can use those powers in real life in order to, you know, get better at sports or cheat on tests or whatever. And that's the main thing about Accel world, is that instead of, you know, the danger being, oh, I'm gonna die, you know, if I die in the game, I'm gonna die in real life. The danger is, if I die, if I die in the game, if I lose all my burst points, basically, I'm going to lose the ability to use Burst Link. I'm gonna lose any memory of that, and that type of stuff is valuable to them, because that, you know, the Burst Link abilities, the abilities that they have to accelerate, actually can help them in real life. And it's actually very valuable for some people that love to cheat and stuff. And as you're gonna see, and as most of you guys saw in the later half of that show, there are characters that that have fully taken advantage of their abilities to accelerate in order to improve their lives. But one of the things I gotta say that I dislike, and I sort of get why I was in the show though, was the fact that there's a lot of emotional scenes in the show. There's a lot of I wouldn't say that the show is more romance than Sword Art Online, although there is some touches of this in there. There's also a scene later in the show, and without spoiling too much, where Haru is basically he listens to this recording of his mother, and supposedly his cousin is supposed to be staying over for a week, and Haru's thinking to himself, "Oh my God, my cousin gets to stay over for like a whole week. I get a whole week with my cousin," and then he's blushing, and he's thinking these type of thoughts that basically, you know, in Sword Art Online, for all you guys who have finished it, there's a hint of incest in this. And I'm starting to think that maybe the creator of this show, like, he or she wanted to actually have, you know, incest relationships, or she's okay with that, because in the show there is a moment where Haru thinks this person is his cousin and is, you know, thinking about her in a sort of manner that just ain't normal, you know. And that's one of the things, like, one of the things I really disliked about Haru's character. First of all, his character design. He's made out to be this fat chubby dude, and he cries in like every episode. I think he cries more than Ganta from Dead Man. What was the name of the show? Dead Man Wonderland. He cries more than that character. He cries every episode. And like I said earlier, the show is really about them. You know, the whole thing with the Accel world is that their avatars, their characters that they end up fighting with in these duels, they actually reflect all the hardships that basically these characters have gone through. And so I do kind of like that a lot better. I do kind of like the fact that basically, you know, Accel world is an escape for these characters. You know, they're escaping to a world in which they don't have to deal with all of the stupid things that basically plague them in real life. Whereas in Sword Art Online, again, it's a completely different story where everyone is trying to get back to the real world. And then in the later, and I think that's what made Sword Art Online suck so badly, from a story point, from like a story point of view, in the second half, is because mainly there was no danger, but these characters, you know, they were still acting like everything was so freaking critical, like they're gonna die in real life if they die in the game or whatnot, because there was no weight to it. There was like no real danger. There is gonna be some real danger for Taku in later episodes. Taku, Chio, all of them. There's danger in the next few episodes. Now I saw the show in the English dub. I gotta say, it is atrocious to listen to, and I haven't been like more embarrassed to actually have someone walk in to see me watching a show like this since the part 1 dub of Naruto back in the day. So I gotta say, the dub is atrocious. I don't really like the way the dialogue is for some of the characters, and the voice acting is just like really cheesy. And even though the show is really meant to be for a more mature audience, I think, because of all the cursing and sort of the themes of the show, but I still think like shows like this, I think they try so hard to be mature, but then at the same time, it's like, this is a show you could kind of put on, you know, for kids or whatnot, if you take out all the cursing and everything. And so I'm reaching the 15-minute mark. I'm going to do another part to this video, basically closing out, but these are my initial thoughts right now. I want you guys to like the video. Stay tuned for the second part of this video. I'll see you guys next time. See you saying out. Peace.